Okay, it's Sunday again, and once more we have a game lined up. 2,500 points again, and it's size Demons of Chaos Army, pretty much the same as last week, I think. Versus Orcs and Goblins, pretty much my standard list, just with the extra 100 points. I'm not even sure what I spent them on, to be honest, because the army actually seems smaller than it did last time, even though my 100 points bigger. So I'm not sure what happened there, but my app assures me that is correct, so I'll have to go with that. Right, so I'm going to run you through the Orc and Goblin army. Obviously, it's I think it's meeting engagement. We both rolled to see if anything was in reserve, and funnily enough, none of our stuff is in reserve, so that's quite nice. So I had to deploy first, so I'll probably be going first. I think I may have a chance to steal the initiative. But yeah, other than that, we'll roll for that in a minute. So I'm going to run you through my army. Okay, so starting off with 5 square coppers, a troll, 39 black orcs with the general, who's a war boss, just a regular war boss. Got a boar chariot, 48 night goblins with hand weapons and shields. There's 2 big bosses in there. We've got a rock lobber, doom diver, another rock lobber, 38 savage orc biggins with the BSB, who's a black orc, and savage orc shaman, and another troll. And that's it. So that's 2,500 points. So hand you over to Si, see what he's got.
Okay, as Ollie said, the army's pretty much the same. The only difference being is it's now slightly more legal than it was last week. On account that I had missed out the fact that if you give a herald the BSB, you cannot give her any gifts, and I'd equipped her with gifts. So the gift that she shouldn't have had has gone to the Corn Herald. Taking Law of Shadow again, so kind of the same old type of spells, which I'll get to in my first magic phase. So yeah, over here we have 5 Seekers. Then we have a horde of 30 Bloodletters with a Herald, with the loci of Fury, give them hatred. We have a Beast of Nurgle, a Keeper of Secrets. I'm actually really liking the Skaven guy as the Keeper. I think I'm probably actually going to just keep him as that, because it's a great model, good excuse to paint him up as well for both armies. Then I have 3 Blood Crushers, the partially painted Mournfang, doing well, as you can see. Still haven't painted very much of those guys, but now my PC's dead, they'll probably be getting a paint job, as man can't play Star Wars when his PSU is down in Valhalla. Then I've got a Cannon of Corn, I've got another one. Then I've got a unit of 30 Demonettes with the BSB, who has the loci of Swiftness, give them always strikes first, and another Beast of Nurgle. And that's my army, 2,500 on the nose. So yeah, we will get back to you at the end of the first turn. Okay, Ollie didn't manage to steal the initiative, so I went first. Everyone moved up. The Seekers went up to try and redirect the Black Orcs, and everyone else just moved forward. My redirectors got up and at them. Let's see. Yeah, everyone else just positioned them. Then the magic phase came. I rolled a 10, which buffed my ward save by 1. So I've now got a 4-up ward save until my next magic phase, which is really handy. And then yeah, that was the magic phase came with that, and I got Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma off. I was then going to cast Pit of Shades, but realised that I hadn't quite moved my dude far enough forward for it to work properly, so I ended up casting the cannonball one. I forget what that's called, which I aimed at that troll. Ollie then dispelled it. Then I tried with the last 3 dice to cast Pit of Shades on the Gobos, see if I could score some, but unfortunately I didn't roll enough to cast. So that was pretty much it. Then in the shooting phase, this cannon shot at the troll that was over here, scored him. This cannon shot at that troll, hit him but failed to wound. Yeah, a reasonably good shooting phase, slightly better than normal, as I actually managed to kill something that wasn't my own model. That was it, so that was a pretty quick turn. So we will see you at the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1. I charged the Black Orcs into the Seekers, and everything else is pretty much as you see it. The Fanatics came out to try and kill the beast, but as seems pretty common with me, I didn't roll enough to actually get to it. So they're just hanging around my field and probably going to gang some Night Goblins with them, which is pretty standard. The Chariot just moved up, the Savage Orcs just stayed where they were. The Troll moved up, just being a bit of a nuisance. Squeakhoppers also bounced up, and that was pretty much it. So, and then in the magic phase, I rolled a 6, but managed to get a channel. Unfortunately, so did Sai. First up, I cast Hand of Gork on the Night Goblins, but Sai dispelled it. And then second, I cast Foot of Gork with the remaining 5 dice, rolled pretty high, so I failed to dispel it. I was going to shoot at the Bloodletters, but of course they have magic resistance, with a 4-up ward at the moment, on top of that as well. They weren't a very appealing target, so I just shot at the Demonettes instead. Managed to hit 10 of them, only wound 6 of them, even though it was a 2-up, and then Sai passed a load of ward saves, so he actually lost 2. Or, is it 2 or 3? I don't know, 2 I think. No, it was 3, wasn't it? Because you rolled.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I killed 3, and then I rolled for, because it was the increased version. Then I rolled a 1, and so I targeted my savages with it, and luckily it scattered completely off them, so that was quite nice. Then I rolled again, and so I got bored, wandered off. So then in the shooting phase, both rock lobbers fired at the Keeper of Secrets and missed him. And then the Doom Diver fired at him and scattered off, but managed to glide into the Blood Crushers and deal wound to them instead. So it's a little bit of a consolation. But yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. Then in close combat, the Savage Orcs actually took 5 casualties from the Seekers, but then slaughtered them wholesale and just reformed. So that was it. So that's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Daemons turn 2. Basically, the only charge, well, there was 2 charges in fact. First off was the Bloodletters charging in against the Black Orcs. Made a successful charge there. Then the Beast of Nurgle then charged at the Savages. The main reason being was that his charge would have taken him all the way through the 2 Fanatics. And I rolled just enough to get in. I needed a 10 and I got it just. And so with bated breath, hit the first 7 hits, which I think was 4 wounds, and I saved one of those wounds. And then went on into the other Fanatic, took 9 hits, 5 wounds, and yeah, obviously that finished the job. So yeah, that was great. I mean, obviously the point wasn't to charge the Savages, but merely to get rid of those 2 Fanatics, which I did quite nicely. And then the other Beast moved up to redirect my to redirect his Savages. So in the magic phase, I rolled a 6, and yeah, not really much I could do. I tried for Occam's Mind Razor on these guys, scored quite a lot. Ollie then scrolled it, basically would have had to have. And then he was able to easily dispel the miasma that I was going to put on them, because I probably would have lowered their weapon skill, I should imagine, just to make it harder for them to hit. And then yeah, that was pretty much it until the shooting phase. One of the cannons managed to score 2 wounds on one of these rock lobbers, and the other cannon took out the last troll. So, you know, each cannon has killed a troll. This is more than my cannons have done in previous games, so it's rather nice.
It peaked.
Yeah, for the year, I think. And yeah, so then it came down to close combat, and yeah, my guys went first. I made way with my herald and challenged his general to single combat. I managed to do 2 wounds to him. And he saved one of them, but because I had cleaving blow, he took 2 wounds, which was rather nice. So Ollie was mopping his brow over having saved that other one, or that would have been 1 dead general. So then with that, what was that? The rest of everyone attacked. So 29 attacks. I think I got something like 26 hits. 27 hits and 16 wounds. I rolled a bit poorly for the wounds, unfortunately. But yeah, that sort of pretty decimated his unit. And yeah, however, he turned around and did me 11 wounds. His general also killed my my guy. Unfortunately, he got 4 wounds on me, and yeah, managed to. Well, the big ward save took one of those, and his normal ward save took one of the others, but unfortunately he was dead. So alas, no glorious combat for the next round. So yeah, the where was it? Yeah, so with that, we tallied up the total. I'd won the combat by quite a lot. However, Ollie was steadfast, and he had the crown of command. Yep. So it didn't really matter. And then just to show Ollie that he needed to bother buying a crown of command, he rolled a double 1 for his leadership test. So yeah, he weren't going anywhere. So yeah, that was that. Locked in combat. It's got a nice amount of charge arc with the gobos. However, not out of charge arc of the chariot or the squig hoppers, because obviously them squig hoppers can charge absolutely bloody anywhere. So yeah, that was the end of my go, and it's now Orcs and Goblins turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 2, and as you can see, it's gone a little bit wrong for me. Okay, so to start off with, the Savages charged into the Beast of Nurgle. The Goblins attempted to charge into the Blood Crushers, but rolled double 1 and only moved an inch. The Chariot charged in the side of the Bloodletters. The Squig Hoppers also did, and that was pretty much it. This Shaman moved over here. Then in the magic phase, rolled I think 6 dice. Used 3 to cast Hand of Gork, try and move these guys up, so I dispelled it. Then I would cast Here We Go. Unfortunately, I rolled a double 6, so I rolled the miscast chart and rolled a 3, which of course killed 6 Savage Orcs and put a wound on my Shaman, and then just really kick him in the teeth, sucked him into the void as well. So he's gone. He left a parting gift of Here We Go, but it's hardly a consolation to losing your wizard. So yeah, that hurt. Guess it happens every now and again. Just a shame it was in this situation when I'm about to be charged by half the size I'll be. So yeah, that was bad times. So then we moved on to the shooting phase, and between my 3 pieces of artillery, all firing at his general, I still wound to it. Nice. So yeah, they go well. And then in close combat, I butchered a fair few of these guys. Unfortunately, he rolled quite low for the. Well, he killed several of my black orcs. I killed 4 of my black orcs, and then I just killed a ridiculous amount of his. Well,
I think you killed 12.
12. Killed 12. There you go. He needed boxcars. Well, so he rolled like 4 or something and lost another few. So he's only got 4 left, but they were holding me up, which was quite nasty. So that's, probably going to win that, but it's just a shame it's delayed me. The Savage Orcs are shit creek. They obviously killed the Beast and Nurgle. Beast and Nurgle managed to kill one of them in return though, which is quite annoying. Well, that's not annoying, but the fact they're here is annoying. They did overrun into the barn, so they're kind of stuck there. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. So it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 2, and I'm about to get a face full of demon, so looking forward to that. Lovely.
Okay, it's the end of Demons and Chaos turn 3. Basically, the Demonettes, they decided to charge into the Savages. I managed to roll 4, but that was still just about enough, thankfully, to get in, so they closed the distance. Everyone else moved up, and then my Blood Crushers moved around to try and get towards the Black Orcs. Then in the Magic phase, I got 7 dice, so nothing on the Winds of Magic table for me. And then, basically, I needed Occams on the Demonettes to win. And I rolled 6 dice, miscast with quite a massive number. I got 3 6s. So I got Occams on them, and then was the Ever Jammy Bastard. And then I just made, all I did was get a Power Drain and do Strength 10 hit to anyone in base contact. As you can see, no one was in base contact. So I lost my last dice. Basically, the only other thing I would have done would have miasmed the Savages, or tried to miasm the Savages, but yeah, in the end it didn't matter. I managed to do a massive number of wounds. I think I killed 22 Savages in the end after armour saves, and Ollie saved like 5 of them. And yeah, he killed a pretty respectable number back. I think he got about 6 wounds back. Then he failed his break test. He rolled an 11, which was a perfect number for him because he just managed to bounce through the Goblins and the Night Goblin Shaman to be over there. I rolled an 8, which was just enough to take me into the flank of the Night Goblins, which was quite handy. So yeah, that was successful. Then over here, knowing I was going to lose the combat, I attacked the Black Orcs. I think I managed to kill one last Black Orc before the Goblins and the Boars took me out. Black Orcs didn't even need to fight. So yeah, I managed to get the better of what am I saying? They far and away got the better of me there. I was getting a bit too overexcited there. Although he did have, although I have Morley's Black Orc unit up quite nicely. Then in the shooting phase, I managed to finish off the Rock Robber. Although even though I hit it, I rolled 1 to wound, unfortunately. So he still got his other one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A pretty successful turn. So it's now Orc and Goblins turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 3, and as you can probably tell, it hasn't gone so well. Plagued by horrendous bad luck. I'm convinced Sai has cursed my dice, like he cursed his own. Okay, so this is what happened. In fact, I'm trying to remember what it was pretty bad. Anyway, the chariot charged into the side of the Blood Crushers. These guys moved up, these guys just reformed. Obviously the Goblins were there, and that was pretty much it for movement. These guys failed to rally. Then in the Magic phase, I got 6 dice, so I got 4 I think, or 3. No channels, so I threw 4 dice and my 1 for the Magic Mushroom. Gork fix it on these guys, hoping to keep my Night Goblins alive. Unfortunately, I rolled plenty, so I certainly couldn't have dispelled it. But I actually rolled a 1 on the Mushroom, so it failed to cast. Luckily, he didn't take a wound, but I wouldn't have cared if he did, because he's dead to me now. Although, ironically, he'll probably be the only survivor of this battle. Yeah, so that went pretty bad. I was really hoping on that. Okay, and then in the shooting phase, my Rock Lobber misfired after trying to shoot his general. So that was bad, although ironically the other dice was a hit, so that really put the boot in. Then my Doom Diver thought it joined in and just blow up, so yeah. so he trumped him at least. So that was pretty bad. So there's quite a few ones there so far. Then in close combat, I tried to net these guys and rolled a 1. So netted myself. Didn't really matter though because they were pretty much doomed. So I slaughtered literally half the unit, killed 22 of them, and killed my goblin that I challenged with just because I thought I might as well. So he died, the unit died, I lost by a ridiculous amount, failed my leadership test and he overrun me and killed me. Although I did actually roll 10 for running away, he rolled 11, so yeah. Good news though, the chariot charging the blood crushers. The blood crushers have been dithering around for most of the game, not doing anything. Chariot just charged in, wiped them out. So there is something in my favour, so I certainly can't complain over that. Unfortunately, I don't have much of an army left, and he's still got like 2 cannons, a level 4 demon with only 1 wound on him, and the big nasty unit from hell coming my way. His guys are 1 point cheaper than mine, so it's pretty horrible. Anyway, so that's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 3, and I doubt very much there'll be a turn 4, so we'll have to see.
Okay, it's the end of Daemons turn 4. Basically, my Demonettes charged into these Black Orcs. My general moved up to support. And then, everything else just sort of moved around. Magic's phase, I've got 11. Unfortunately, his wizard passed his test, otherwise I would have had a herald of... I probably would have taken a herald of Khorne, actually. And then sent it off after that. But, unfortunately that didn't happen. Then I got Miasma off on the Black Orcs. And then I hit a massive, I got 20 odds on 6 dice for Occam's Mind Razor on the Demonettes, which Ollie couldn't dispel. And then I tried to cast the Penumbral Pendulum, but I didn't get enough with the last 2 dice that I had. So with that in mind, then went on to shooting. One of my cannons unfortunately blew up trying to shoot this, and then the other one just overshot it, unfortunately. So it was a little unfortunate. And what else? That was it for shooting. And then in close combat, I chopped up all the Black Orcs and his general, and there was nothing left. So with that, I passed my leadership test and reformed like that. So ready for the next turn. Although I'm a little bit worried actually that my general is going to get a flank charge. It is actually a flank. I can see it from here. Yeah, because he is actually pointing in the direction that his finger's pointing. It's now Orcs and Goblins turn 4.
Okay, being a good orc, a stupid orc, but same thing. I decided not to give up. So I thought I'd just try and sort of gank his general, really. So I charged my chariot into his flank. The Squidgoblins unfortunately didn't make it. This guy turned round, and my wizard moved behind these, not wanting to get ganked by any flaming cannons and penumbral pendulums, that kind of thing. So that was it. The magic phase, I managed to get off Gork Fix It on his general, and that was pretty much it. And then in close combat, I got 5 impact hits plus 1 for the scythe. Did 2 wounds to him. Then he attacked me back and only managed to do a single wound to the chariot. And then my guys on the back didn't manage to wound him. So I actually won the combat by 3. He made his test and only failed it by 1, so he lost another wound. So he's got 1 wound left. So I think that was probably my chance to kill him gone now. But it was pretty funny just to see that chariot rampage. Obviously he took out the blood crushers and is now taking out a great demon. So that chariot's probably done more than my entire army put together. So it's pretty funny. So we're going to do size next turn. Hopefully I can gank him, because everyone knows that chariots are much better than great demons. Okay, so we're going to head into demons turn 5.
Okay, pretty quick turn. I charged the Demonettes in and moved the chariot up. Magic phase, I got 5. And I didn't want to take any risks because I thought Occam's skill raiser might be a bit dangerous, so I didn't bother. And that was vindicated in the close combat phase where, as you can see, I wiped his chariot out before he managed to attack back. But it did take the demon and the Demonettes to do that. The cannon shot at the artillery, however I only managed to do 1 wound to it, which is a little annoying. Yeah, if I'd wiped that out, then I'd be feeling pretty confident. However, I haven't, so it could be bad times. So yeah, that was basically that. I finished this chariot off and reformed up, and now I've just got to fucking hope he misses with that thing. We will we'll get back to you in a minute for Orcs and Goblins turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Orc and Goblins turn 5. Just move the squig hoppers up. Magic phase, I unfortunately rolled an 8, so giving side a 6 dispel dice. And me 8 dice through 6 and a mushroom, rolled really poorly through Vindictive Glare to try and kill his general, so it didn't work. Stone Thrower managed to scatter off just 2, so I only managed to clip him, needed 6 to wound, unfortunately rolled a 1. And failed to kill any Demonettes as well, needing a 4 up to wound, so that was pretty bad. So yeah, so that was the end of my turn. So now it's size turn 6, so I'm still counting on my last turn to make the magic happen. Pardon?
Turn 5.
It's your turn 6.
Is it? Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, it's your last turn. So.
Okay, it's the end of my turn 6. My demon moved up so it's pointing at you going, you! Damn you! Then my Demonettes charged into the squig hoppers, and then the magic phase, I didn't bother with any, went straight to the shooting. This scored the final couple of wounds on his rock lobber, so well done. Then these guys came in and chopped up the squig hoppers and reformed. Leaving.
It's all this versus 1 goblin.
Yeah, leaving 1 goblin on the battlefield to score a demon prince with, the keeper of secrets with 1 wound left. So we shall see what happens in the Orcs and Goblins turn 6.
So it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 6 now. Last turn of the game. Obviously, I didn't have a lot left. And he's got his Demonettes and his cannon left, and my Goblin obviously squared off against the Greater Demon. Just moved to the side of him and then cast Vindictive Glare. Unfortunately, got a miscast, so what I thought was going to be a glorious end to a great battle, it turned out to be one. I cast Vindictive Glare on him. Got 8 wounds, 8 hits, rolled 2 6s. He failed both his ward saves and died. And then luckily the miscast only did me a wound. So the sole survivor of my army killed a great demon. So 1 goblin left on 1 wound, and he's victorious. So Sai won by a ridiculous amount because this guy's worth about 110 points. But that's definitely a moral victory. So that was beautiful. So although I absolutely lost my army, so I just got steamrolled by those Demonettes, who pretty much did a whole lap of the board.
Yeah,
killing everything in their path.
I think they started there.
Yeah, they killed the savages, they killed the night goblins, they killed the black orcs and the general, they killed the chariot, they killed the squig hoppers, and then they pretty much ended where they started. So yeah, those Demonettes were frightening. Not as scary as this guy though. Right. So I'm going to just run you through my thoughts on the game now, as seems to be an opportune moment. Right, so to start off with, I had some bad luck, but it wasn't that bad. I had my showman obviously dying really hurt me, mainly because I lost the ward save, which would have helped me survive against the Demonettes, so that was pretty bad. Always losing your wizards is always going to be bad, but The Demonettes, obviously, another thing that hurt me is when he got Occam's Mindrazor off. It wasn't actually a miscast on the first one. So obviously having the +4 to my dispelling would have helped to try and dispel it as well. So that really hurt because obviously the level 4's gone. Yeah, so that was bad. Him getting the charge off with the Bloodletters was obviously terrible. My initial plan was to charge the Chariot in to get rid of their hatred and hope it held, and then charge in the Black Orcs. I think if he didn't have the hatred and the +1 strength, would have had a much better chance of taking him out. So that went pretty badly, although I was lucky to just hold. But then, of course, he held in the combat with just 4 guys left, which delayed me even further, losing even more guys. So that, you know, the Black Orcs were never going to have much of a chance against Demons without the support, and they didn't get it because he managed to get the charge off with the +1 strength and the hatred, and it was just horrible. So they did pretty well considering, but they still died ultimately. The overrun from the Demonettes killing the Savages really hurt me because that's what, you know, they just took out those Night Goblins and they had no effect. So that was terrible. My artillery was shameful in this game. They did almost, well, in fact they did nothing. They did 1 wound to the Great Demon, which a lone Night Goblin can do. So they were terrible. The Trolls obviously got killed by flaming cannons, which is clearly their bane, which is fair enough. Flaming cannons are supposed to do things like that. Yeah, and I had some pretty bad magic phases as well, to be fair. I mean, I don't think I rolled above a 7 in any of those magic phases, apart from the 2 with him, where I just needed to roll less, so I would have less dispel dice, but that didn't happen. Overall, though, it was a really exciting game, and right up until the end, you know, I lost obviously my main blocks, which is, you know, that's pretty much a sign that the game's over. But to actually, when I looked at his stuff, I mean, he'd lost quite a lot as well, so it was a hell of a bloody battle. And just killing his Great Demon right at the end with my lone Goblin Shaman was, well, that was just excellent. You know, really cheered me up. But yeah, a fun game, and it just shows that Demons are pretty terrifying, to be honest. Occam's Mindrazor on those guys, I mean, they lost like 9 guys in total?
10, because there was like a...
Oh yeah, 10, yeah. So. They lost 10 guys, but they killed almost all my army. Obviously the Bloodletters did their fair share, but these did more than their fair share. His cannons were not super accurate, but they performed like they're supposed to, so can't really fault those. But yeah, in terms of my units, the Savage Orcs obviously just had some bad luck, really. Well, the Shaman, like I say, going down really hurt them. They had a fair chance against the Demonettes as long as he didn't get off Occam's Mindrazor, which of course he did. Destroyed a ridiculous amount of them. I mean, they had the rear rolls to hit, but it just wasn't enough. So if they didn't have the Occams, then they probably would have won that, but he did. But that's the caveat of Occams, really, isn't it? If it goes off, then you win. So pretty scary. The Black Orcs did alright. I wasn't expecting them to do that well against Demons because they just don't have the defences that Savages have, and they don't have the hitting power that the Savages have, because they don't really need their great weapons, and that's really what you're paying the points for. So, but still like them. So, the Goblins absolutely screwed me over. That double 1 charge at the wrong time, and then of course getting overrun into, and they just serve no purpose in this game whatsoever. Fanatics screwed me. They didn't even make it to that Beast of Nurgle, although ironically I wanted the same thing as me. He wanted the Fanatics dead, and I wanted his Beast of Nurgle dead. So that's mutually beneficial, but not because the Fanatics are good. It's just because his Beast of Nurgle did the work for me. Artillery was useless, but it's cheap enough to always take, so I was going to take that. Squick Hoppers didn't really do anything, but they just don't really respond well to high initiative stuff. Better against Ogres, really. Chariot was amazing. Chariot killed the Blood Crushers, like as if they weren't there. Then charged into the Great Demon, puts 2 wounds on it.
3 wounds on it.
3 wounds, yeah.
With the instability as well.
Oh yeah, the instability. Yeah, put 3 wounds on the Great Demon. Really panicked him. Even stopped him casting spells because of it. So that was excellent. So I think for me, really, the man of the match is the Chariot. Even though this guy did actually kill the Great Demon, he did only just put the last wound on it. But he gets an honourable mention, and will probably be the general of my next army because everyone else just got fired. Oh, if they weren't dead. So, yeah, so really fun battle. I really enjoyed it, even though I lost horrendously. But it's nice to see Size Lux finally picking up, and he's definitely got an army that is a bit more reliable than his ogres and his Skaven and anything else he had before then. So I think he's finally found an army that suits his aggressive nature. So yeah, so I certainly enjoyed that. Hand you over to Si now, see what he thinks of the game.
Yeah, that was a great game. It was really good fun. It's obviously that much better because I won it. But yeah, the things went pretty well for me. I got Occam's Mindraiser off every time I wanted it, with the exception of against the Bloodletters, against the Black Orcs. And to be fair, that probably wouldn't have made much difference, because I wouldn't have been able to kill enough Black Orcs to break the unit, because his general had the Crown of Command. I might have maybe been able to kill the general, but yeah, that was a bit of a, well, what could have been job. Obviously, that's the benefit of having a Dispel Scroll. You've got that flexibility to deny someone. Plus, I got pretty lucky to avoid a nasty miscast when I did miscast against it. Yeah, these Demonettes were excellent. I mean, they did what they had to do, which was, yeah, kill everything. They like Ollie said, they did a lap of the battle. They started over here, and then they went all the way around and ended up here. So yeah, they left a trail of destruction in their wake. They were really good. The demon, my general, he was excellent until right at the end. If I thought about it a bit better, I should have planned where he moved, because then Ollie wouldn't have been able to get a charge with the chariot. It was a bit of a risk, and I figured I would be able to take the chariot, to be honest, in combat. I would have needed 3s to hit, 4s to wound. I had a pretty good chance of wrecking it, especially with a breath weapon. Yeah. Oh yes, and I forgot it had the Keeper of Secrets had Cleaving Blow, but that didn't actually matter, because I only did him 1 wound at the time, so that actually wouldn't have made any difference to the outcome of the battle.
Yeah, because he still died in that second combat anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, other than taking 1 wound less because of the instability, but Mr. Gobbo over there did his job, and he actually did 2 wounds, so the outcome would have been precisely the same.
Good point.
So yeah, it doesn't really matter, but I figured that the demon should be able to take it, so it wasn't that much of a risk. But yeah, it's the way of things. But yeah, these Demonettes were definitely the man of the match for me. They were absolutely excellent. The Bloodletters, well, with probably the Demon Print, the Keeper of Secrets, a close second. And to be fair, the cannons being a close third, as they killed 2 of his artillery pieces, and they killed the 2 trolls. So they really ridded me of what could have been potentially some nasty kind of shit that Ollie could have brought to bear. So I was pretty pleased with how they went. I think definitely 2 is the way, and I have to try and work 2 into my ogre list at some point. But yeah, these guys performed pretty nicely. I was rather happy with them. I think pretty much everyone in the army, with the exception of the Blood Crushers, actually did something. I think they got caught out, really. I didn't much want them facing off where they were. I mean, I could have sent them into the Goblins, but the Goblins would have just tar-pitted them. Being strength, pretty much being netted every round, and with a large static combat res, they would have been stuck on those Goblins for at least the amount of time it would have taken for the Demonettes to get in and finish them. And in retrospect, perhaps that would have been better, but I didn't know that I was going to sort of blaze through that part of the board.
I kind of had played the worst and really wanted the Blood Crushers to go in. I wanted them to try and mop up the chariot, because I figured 3 of them on the charge against the chariot would wreck it, and then allow me to overrun into the Black Orcs and start making a mess of them. Because I figured if I could put the Black Orcs and the chariot away, then the rest of the army could meet in the middle and mop up everything else. But as it turned out, yeah, I had to rely a bit more on these guys than I would have liked. But yeah, all in all, a great game for me. I had my fair share of luck. So yeah, I was quite pleased, and yeah, I rather like how this list performed. So yeah, it might need a little bit of tweaking here and there. Perhaps the Seekers might need to disappear. That's 100.
Yeah, I think instead of using them as chaff, I think they're a bit expensive.
Yeah,
I think Beast and Noble are better if you just want chaff.
and I think they'd probably be better off taking like Hounds of Corn with the ambushes special rule. Because obviously with ambushes, I could have been potentially on turn 3 charging his artillery with some pretty nasty guys.
Plus those hounds, I mean, they're pretty nasty anyway. They're a threat to bunkers, all kinds of things.
Yeah, they're
if you get those in the back of some depleted unit or something.
Yeah,
more useful for catching things already fleeing.
Forcing them to flee more.
Plus you have the models for it.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So yeah, I'll be having to fiddle around, I think, a little more with my list, and yeah, I'll see what I come up with. So yeah, great game, and we'll see what happens next week.